Airships conquer the skies. Is this another 5-minute wonder, or is it an indie game gem? Hey folks, I'm Salmon, and welcome to the pond. So there I was browsing the depths of Steam, looking for something to grab me which I could sink my teeth into. After wading through the hundreds of games, there it was, the diamond in the rough. Airships Conquer the Skies. This is a 2D naval strategy game where you'll build, fight and conquer the skies, featuring air and land vehicles, supporting online co-op, PvP, and is all wrapped up in these beautiful pixel graphics. I'm here to spread the word, as Airships is a great little game and deserves your attention. So let's take a closer look. Airships provides a few modes to get stuck into, starting with a comprehensive tutorial over 9 stages which will teach you the basics of shipbuilding and then onto combat and controls. There are then missions which admittedly are nothing major, but can offer a different scenario to test your skills when the odds are stacked against you. However, you can create your own or import community-made missions from the Steam Workshop. There is a combat mode, essentially a sandbox mode, where you can change the weather, terrain and spawn buildings and vehicles, but this is mainly used as a testing ground for your new creations to see what works well and what needs improvements. Conquest is the main game mode, which can be played solo, co-op or PvP. When you start, you'll pick a faction heraldry and a perk, or create your own. Select your game settings with the procedurally generated maps and jump in. The Conquest mode in Airships is real time, which allows you to see the direction and intentions of enemy units, giving you time to react and deploy countermeasures. The game does offer controllable speeds, and throughout time you will go through various ages, offering buffs and debuffs to all factions. So as you can see from this map view, it looks very similar to those of the Total War games, especially the diplomacy where you can check your standing with other factions, along with offering a wide array of actions from alliances, tributes and even territory trading. There is also a technology tree you can work through where you research more advanced weaponry and modules as well as faction buffs. The game also offers a spy network system which allows the player to infiltrate the faction's towns and cities. The greater the network, the more you'll be able to see, such as enemy ships and buildings, great for strategic planning. The spy system also enables you to sabotage the enemy's research progress, steal supplies and money. In the cities and towns you own, you can construct various buildings, such as shipyards, markets, police stations and more, which provide building supplies, repair points, extra income and unrest resistance respectively, along with natural resources that are scattered around the map in provinces which offer buffs if captured. There are also monsters and pirates, which will have negative effects on your resources if they are in your own territories until they are destroyed. These act as bosses within the game and have a lot of HP, so you will need to prepare carefully before taking these head on. Although don't ignore them for too long, as they will come and raid your settlements, doing huge amounts of damage if you're not heavily fortified. When it comes to attacking and defending in Conquest, you can move your airships and land vehicles to the target to begin your assault, where you have to destroy the enemy's buildings along with any air or land ships that may be stationed there. In turn, protect your buildings when you are the defender, but we will take a closer look at the construction and buildings later in the video. So when it comes to combat, your crew within your vessel will automatically perform basic actions, such as fire and reloading weapons, putting out fires, refueling engines and defending against enemy borders, providing you have soldiers and not just crew members. More on that later. You move your vehicle simply by clicking on the area you wish to travel, or you can activate the direct control mode, which allows you to maneuver your vehicle using the WASD keys. The ship's resources are located in the control panel at the bottom of the screen, displaying your important resources, which are crew, ammo, coal and water, which you need to manage throughout your battles. Also in the control panel are extra controls, giving you more functionality with your vehicle. Here you can prioritise fire modes with 4 options ranging from hold fire to rapid. This lets you conserve ammunition when needed. There are also buttons to focus the crew on certain actions, such as focusing on repairs or fighting fires on board, giving you more control of your crew. The control panel also offers special actions such as ship ramming, launching tethers, boarding enemy ships to capture and control them, and crew transferring. The combat can also be affected by weather, particularly lightning, which can strike your ship and cause fires and explosions depending on how your ship is constructed. Alternatively, rain can help reduce fires on board, and heavy fog can reduce your line of sight, but can be used to your advantage. So, depending on how you like to play and the capabilities of your ship, you will play battles in different ways, either being light, quick and nimble, able to outmaneuver your enemy, getting behind and targeting them weak points, or you will go big and heavy, being slower but able to soak up more damage, and also packing a huge amount of firepower yourself. After spending time with the game, you'll learn what modules on ships are more vulnerable and prone to fire and explosions. However, like mentioned earlier, if you have a high enough spy network in your enemy bases, you can see inside their ships and buildings, being able to pinpoint weak spots to target when it comes to battle. Airships combat is gravity based, so if your propulsion and lift modules are destroyed, your ship will fall out of the sky. But that doesn't mean you're out of the fight. If your crew are still able, then they will continue to fire. This gravity also means parts of your ship can be broken off, so the construction of your ship is just as important as how you fly it. So with all this in mind about crews, ship controls and combat, your ship will only function as well as its condition and how well it's built. So that takes us to the ship design. The vehicle editor can be accessed from the main menu or in the game of Conquest via shipyards. Here is where you can build air and land ships, and you can also construct defensive buildings and use the terrain manipulator. So when it comes to buildings and the terrain, these are what you're going to use to defend your cities and towns. The buildings are built the same way as the vehicles, but just don't require any lift or propulsion modules, and there are dedicated anti-air weapons to take care of them flying foes. You can also sculpt the terrain to your advantage, raising buildings for a better reach, or creating obstacles for your enemies to overcome. The vehicle designer features many categories of modules for your creations, from troops, resources, propulsion and weapons. There are also some useful tools such as the tech filter, where you can filter modules based on the research technology from basic sails to high-powered steam engines, allowing you to create either early or later game ships, which are more suitable for your Conquest campaign depending on how far along the tech tree you are. There is also overlays providing important information about your builds. The pathing, for example, showing accessible routes around your ship, which is essential for your crew to transport resources where needed throughout flight. The overlays can also display distances from resources such as water, coal and ammunition, and of course can show hit points and potential explosive damage around your ship, helping you place more volatile modules in less vulnerable places, and where to fortify your ship for protection and where to save weight. Along with functional modules, the ship designer also includes an armour page where you can fortify the hull of your ship with different materials, which all have strengths and weaknesses. In addition, you can also paint your creations and add decorations to add that final touch to your war machines. You can easily find yourself getting lost, spending hours of fun creating vehicles before even playing a game of Conquest. In my eyes, I see that as a very big positive. Airships is heavily supported by the Steam Workshop, where there are hundreds of vehicles created by the community which can be downloaded, saved and used in your game. Along with vehicles, there are also a variety of game mods such as larger maps and more ship modules to build with, and much more. Whilst having pixel graphics which brings its own charm, some nice subtle lighting systems are going on here, especially noticeable at night when the fires and explosions are breaking out. In terms of settings though, it is pretty much a straightforward one. There's little to no graphic settings as this is pixel based, yet there are some game settings in the menu, but you shouldn't have a problem running the game as it has all been very smooth from my experience. However, where Airships doesn't skimp out is the audio. From cannon fire to breaking metal and cries of burning crewmen, nothing outshines the catalogue of Airships' epic music created by Schweitzer. I've absolutely butchered that name, I apologise, and I will stick it up on the screen. Airships Conquer the Skies is a true diamond in the rough. amongst all this quadruple A games nonsense we've been hearing lately. The game is simple and accessible, yet does have depth in mastering construction and combat. Everything that is done here is executed very well, and to be honest, I've been struggling to find some negative things to say. One thing that did come to mind was the large preset size of the map wasn't as big as I would have liked, but this was quickly solved by installing the extra large map size mod from the Games Workshop. And some of the keybinds are a little too spread out along the keyboard. Having to jump around to push certain keys regularly was a bit of a pain, but this was quickly solved by again just rebinding keys, which took a minute. So yeah, you see, I'm grasping at straws here, I'm struggling. But anyway, if you like what you see, get the game and you won't be disappointed. Tell a friend and even play together. This is one of them games you can easily get hundreds of hours out of. There is also a DLC called Heroes and Villains, which provides further gameplay features where captains can use their abilities to aid in battle, and offers various bonuses to your cities and towns, but may leave if you become too much of a tyrant. This DLC also enables you to design and award medals to your ships, offering powerful buffs, but these will also be lost along with your ship if destroyed, so command your awarded fleet carefully. Yes, this is a paid DLC and could have been a free update I suppose, but the content is worth the money, and I've got so much from the base game already, I was happy to pay and support the developer. Airships Conquer the Skies is currently at 25% off due to the Steam summer sale at just $15.74. Usually this is £20.99 and it's still a good price for what you get, but if you're interested, now is the time to pick it up. The game is currently sitting at overwhelmingly positive on Steam, and there are not many games nowadays that earn that title, so I'll let that speak for itself. Alright folks, that wraps up for today. Thank you so much for tuning in and sticking with me until the end. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the pond. Also, if you've liked any of the music in this video, give Curtis and Leva some support. You can find their channels through the links in my description below. Thanks again guys for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.